This chapter directly continues from the previous chapter. Please ensure you follow the web series chronologically. All the links will be provided in the description below. Thank you.
The House of Kuru, Part 1, Chapter 11. Amba was crestfallen. The only being in the entire world who could defeat Bhishma just left without a second thought. With Parashurama declaring that Bhishma was equal to him, no one in the entire planet would be insane enough to challenge him now. Amba's plot for revenge was utterly destroyed. Tears, anger, and emotions flooded Amba all at once. She could not comprehend what to do now. Neither would Bhishma marry her, nor would any other man marry her either. As she was abducted by Bhishma, she was seen as his spoil of war. She was destitute. Desolate and unwanted, she began wandering aimlessly. She finally reached the kingdom of Vatsa. This kingdom was known for its ascetics and hermits. She decided that the only way to exact her vengeance was through the aid of God himself. She began intense austerities. Amba gave up food and sleep and did tremendous austerities aimed at pleasing Lord Shiva, who was the god of destruction and also the guru or teacher of Parashurama. She figured Lord Shiva would certainly be able to slay Bhishma and thereby extract her revenge. Her austerities were so intense that even the heavens began trembling with heat. The goddess Ganga approached her. "My child, your intense austerities are burning the heavens themselves. Tell me, what is the purpose of such hatred for my son? I will grant you with boons to make you the most desired princess in all the land. Kings will fight in desperation to win your hand. I will make you a wealthy and grant you several valorous sons. Abandon this pursuit of vengeance and embrace forgiveness," said the kind goddess. "Never!" roared Amba. "My soul will only rest upon Bhishma's death and humiliation." This angered the goddess Ganga. "You are a wretched creature, full of anger and hatred. I curse thee, even in your next birth you will not see the peace of a loving family or the love of a spouse," cursed the angry goddess and disappeared. This only infuriated Amba and increased her resolve. She was consumed by her desire for vengeance and did not stop her austerities to please Lord Shiva. Days turned to weeks, weeks turned to months, months to years. She withered away in repeating the sacred mantra to invoke the god of war, Lord Shiva. Her body became limp and lifeless. Ant moons began growing on her wretched body. Finally, after what felt like aeons to the poor downtrodden Amba, a powerful voice thundered. "You have caused my manifestation. Explain to me why I am invoked," roared the large 9-foot figure with a blue neck, holding a trident and sporting a snake around his neck. "My lord, my kind lord, you have answered my prayers," spoke the weak and weary Amba. Amba recounted all her miseries to the great god of destruction. She told him about her initial love, how Bhishma kidnapped her and thereby insulted her honor. She told him about her penance to Parashurama, the axe-wielding saint. She explained his war on Bhishma and how Parashurama declared Bhishma his equal. After explaining all her plight, she withered to the ground, sad and desolate, and burst into tears, demanding justice to the Lord of Death. "I cannot see much fault with the son of Ganga, Bhishma. He did let you go to your love. Is it not your love who rejected you?" inquired the conqueror of Yama himself. "My lord," she whined, "I come from an honor-bound class of men. Had he not abducted me, I would be happily married with my husband Salva, ruling the kingdom of Saubala. Instead, look at me. I am miserable. I am alone, a wretched woman, desolate of any affection. My heart's desire is the death to the one who has wronged me. Is this too much to ask, my father? Pleaded the sad Amba. The Lord of War, Lord Shiva, had a soft spot for anyone who looked upon him as a father, and as fate commanded, she stoked his paternal feelings in the request for her boon. The mighty armed Bhishma is skilled in warfare and is protected by his father's boon of choosing the time of his death. This means he can choose when he dies, and as this boon was given to him by Brahma, the creator god, I am not permitted to overstep my bounds. However, I will grant you this boon. You will be the cause of his death. Of this I am certain, thundered Rudra, the mighty god of storm. Amba's face lit up. Her eyes beamed with happiness. Life flooded back into her veins, and she roared in happiness. Thank you, my lord. She danced around the mighty god of war and sprayed him with flowers and hugs while he remained solemn. My lord, she asked, when will this boon take fruit? When will I see the fruits of my austerities? Bhishma is fated to live a long and trying life, so this boon will not take fruit in this birth of yours, but in your next birth, said the mighty god of thunder, Lord Rudra. Amba's happiness burnt the second it grew. Her happiness did not even last for a minute. My lord! She screamed, but it was too late. The figure of Rudra had vanished, and a cylindrical idol replaced his presence. The devastated Amba began wandering again. In her wandering, she kept wondering what to do with her life. She thought about going back to her father, but that required her to admit failure. The king of Hastinapura refused to have her. She was completely desolate. She had to live with her dishonor for the rest of her life. She had to live her entire life knowing that Bhishma rules in a marble-encrusted palace, while she lives in a mere thatched hut until her present birth is complete. Suddenly, she knew exactly what to do. She made her way to the edge of the forest. She dug a large pit and began piling up dry leaves, sticks, and hay into it. She spent an entire week building her stack of hay and dried wood. Finally, she lit it alight. The fire raged like the anger inside her, and she screamed, "Death over dishonor! Death over dishonor!" and leapt into the raging fire pit. Her screams and shrieks caused all the birds and wildlife to flee from the vicinity. "For Bhishma's death!" shrieked Amba as she breathed her last. How can a woman commit suicide for revenge? What tragedy is this? I fail to understand, said Janamejaya. By now, almost half the town had gathered within the courtroom of King Janamejaya to hear the mighty tale of the house of Kuru. She was consumed by an unnatural hatred and thirsted for an insufferable vengeance, said the royal preceptor. Her whole body was drenched in the desire to kill Bhishma, that it felt very little pain for her to die rather than remain alive and continue to witness Bhishma's invincibility. My child, let this be a lesson to all beings. One must never allow vengeance to consume them. This is why your celestial grandfather Indra demanded you to stop the fire sacrifice of the snakes. You too were consumed with vengeance, said the royal preceptor. Perhaps, but the death of my father needs justice too, does it not? Questioned Janamejaya. There is a difference between justice and punishment. Your duty as a king was to deliver justice, not punish. You insisted on the genocide of an entire species. Now tell me, is this justice? Asked the royal preceptor. Janamejaya struggled to argue further. You see, O mighty vanquisher of enemies, there is a cosmic order called karma, and This order tends to punish far more effectively than even the most devout judge. Let me explain, said the preceptor Vaishampayana as he continued the great tale of the House of Kuru.
I hope you liked today's episode of The House of Kuru. If you have not already, please subscribe to this channel and like this video so that you will be notified every time a new video is uploaded. Thank you.